Let's go Broncos! What we're seeing now could be the start of one of the most impressive turnarounds in recent NFL history. The Broncos are doing things no one imagined they could do. They're breaking paradigms, ending winning streaks, silencing critics, and proving, week after week, that this team is not only back, but can be better than we ever imagined. Stick with me, because what I'm about to show you isn't just hype, it's fact. Bo Nix just delivered a performance that even the national media couldn't ignore. Sean Payton continues to dismantle all the bad habits this franchise has carried for years. And now, the Broncos are 10-2 and in the hunt for the top seed in the AFC. But believe me, there's much more to this story. Before we begin, be sure to smash that like button if your heart bleeds orange and blue. Seriously, only like this if you're a true fan, if you followed this team through the highs and lows, through everything that's happened between them. And leave a comment saying, "Go Broncos! Let's dominate the AFC," if you believe this team is headed straight for the Super Bowl. Now, let me tell you what's really happening with your Denver Broncos. The Broncos just outlasted the Washington Commanders in a game that was way more lopsided in our favor than the final box score shows. This wasn't just another win, it was a statement. Denver proved once again that it can win in absolutely any situation. This team has shown it can blow teams out, grind out defensive battles, come back from double-digit deficits, and now, they can win in overtime too. That overtime hurdle has been haunting Denver for years. The Broncos had dropped their last 5 OT games. The last win in OT came all the way back in 2015 against the Browns. But now, Sean Payton, who seems to be on a mission to destroy every ugly streak we've had, delivers another monumental W, breaking that curse as well. And what a performance from Bo Nix. This kid is not just growing, he's thriving under pressure. In a game where the defense struggled to contain Marcus Mariota, it was Nix who stepped up, especially in overtime, looking composed, clinical, and just plain dangerous. One of his most jaw-dropping plays came just before halftime when he stepped up into a chaotic pocket and launched an absolute laser from a ridiculous arm angle, one that would have been a social media frenzy if it had been thrown by Mahomes. But this time, it was all Nix. And the best part? He got the throw off just milliseconds before his knee hit the turf. That's poise, that's athleticism, and that's QB1 material. But let's talk about Evan Engram. This was his breakout game as a Denver Bronco. The veteran tight end, who had a couple early drops, shook it off and delivered when it mattered most, especially in overtime. His yards after catch ability was on full display, and it's something Denver hasn't seen from the tight end position in a long time. He didn't just get first downs, he made explosive plays that set the tone in crunch time. Considering he's been playing through a lingering back injury most of the season, what we saw from him in this game might just be the beginning of what he can bring to this offense. And culture? That's what sets this team apart right now. We've said it before and we'll say it again, culture eats strategy for breakfast. And that's exactly what you're seeing in this locker room. The love these guys have for each other, the way they celebrate big plays together, it's not fake. When Nick Bonito made a game-altering knockdown, the entire defense swarmed him like they just won the Super Bowl. That kind of energy isn't coach speak, it's real, and it's a huge part of why this team keeps finding ways to win. And let's not ignore the adversity. The officiating in this game? Atrocious. There were missed calls, phantom penalties, and just outright bizarre decisions that went against Denver all night. The roughing calls, the pick play that led to the Commanders' overtime TD, none of it makes sense unless you consider that this team is finally scaring people. When the national media and officiating crew start making excuses, it's because they're realizing the Broncos are no longer a team to overlook. Even former Broncos players like Shelby Harris chimed in after the game, saying ball don't lie, echoing what all of Broncos country was feeling. We were the better team, period. And speaking of better, how about that winning streak? Let's run it back. We beat the Texans when they were nobodies, and now they're a playoff caliber team. We beat the Cowboys during their early season slump, and now they've rattled off multiple straight wins. And now the Commanders? Say what you want, but this is a team that took the Lions deep into the playoffs last year. Every NFL team is dangerous, but Denver is proving that it doesn't matter who's lined up across from us, we're going to find a way. Because what we're seeing right now from Bo Nix isn't just a hot streak, it's the foundation of a franchise quarterback coming into his own. This isn't just game management, it's game domination. And for him to do it in overtime, on national television, under a pressure cooker of questionable calls and relentless defensive pressure, that tells you everything you need to know about the kid's mindset. He's not flinching, he's thriving. Now let's talk about the bigger picture. Sean Payton didn't just inherit a mess, he inherited a franchise that hadn't been relevant in the postseason picture for years. And now, under his leadership, the Broncos are not only relevant, they're feared. He systematically dismantled every negative pattern this team has suffered from. Couldn't win on the road? Fixed. Couldn't win division games? Fixed. Couldn't close out close games? Fixed. Couldn't win in overtime? You guessed it, fixed. And he's doing it without gimmicks. This is hard-nosed, situational football at its best. Every guy on the roster knows their role. Every week, it's a different hero. That's the formula championship teams are built on. Let's not overlook what this win means in the context of the AFC. The Broncos are suddenly in real contention for that top seed. That's not exaggeration, that's math and momentum. While the Chiefs and other division rivals are showing cracks, the Broncos are showing cohesion, chemistry, and growth. They're winning in every way imaginable: low-scoring battles, shootouts, comeback victories, and now overtime thrillers. This team isn't just playoff bound, they're becoming the team nobody wants to face. And man, that defense, even in a game where they gave up more points than usual, they still had those clutch moments. Nick Bonito continues to play like a man possessed. His motor, his impact in big moments, and his ability to get the crowd in the locker room fired up, it's infectious. Pat Certain had to deal with a blatant offensive pick play on that overtime touchdown, something even neutral analysts were calling out in real time. And still, you didn't see heads drop. You saw focus. You saw belief. That's a winning mentality. And while the defense didn't have its best statistical game, the offense proved it could carry the load. That is massive. This is no longer a team where the defense has to be perfect. Bo Nix and company can pick up the slack, and they can do it late in games. Fourth quarters, overtime, doesn't matter. The poise that Nix showed on that final drive, threading passes, commanding the offense, playing like a vet, it's something that Denver fans haven't seen in a long, long time. You also have to admire the toughness of this roster. Evan Engram, who had every excuse to shrink after early mistakes, delivered like a true pro. We've seen this time and time again now. Broncos players shaking off adversity and responding with game-changing plays. Engram's explosive YAC in overtime flipped the entire tone of the drive. That's the kind of weapon you need in the postseason. Guys who don't disappear under pressure. Guys who deliver. And speaking of the postseason, let's be honest, this feels different. This isn't a team just getting by or winning with luck. The Broncos are beating teams because they're better prepared, better coached, and playing with more heart. That's what separates contenders from pretenders. The Broncos aren't just hoping to win, they expect to win. And that mindset shift is what Sean Payton has engineered since day one. The national media can't ignore it anymore. This isn't just a feel-good run. This is a movement. Bo Nix is forcing himself into the spotlight. Sean Payton is back in the elite coaching conversation. The Broncos defense, even when flawed, is still packed with playmakers. And Broncos country? Y'all have stayed loud through the tough years, and now it's paying off. The mile-high magic is back. And here's what makes this run so special. It's a team win every single time. It's not one guy dragging the team forward. It's a complete unit rising together. That's why fans are showing up. That's why the locker room is electric. That's why belief is surging in Denver again. Every guy on that roster is fighting for the guy next to him, and you can see it in how they play. So here's your call to action. If you believe that this Broncos team can not only make a deep playoff run but win the AFC and return to the Super Bowl, hit that subscribe button right now. Drop a like if you've believed in this team even during the dark seasons. And if you're riding this wave all the way to February, leave a comment below that says, "Go Broncos! We're taking the AFC." Click that video on the screen now for more breakdowns, and I'll see you there.